Anxiety is not random. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to decrease your anxiety, these anxious feelings by half at least. Now, look, I'm not promising that you finish here and your anxiety is gone forever. That's not what I'm saying. And that would be a false promise. But what I am promising is that by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly some actionables that will half any anxious feelings that you have. It will just half it. Anxiety. It's a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. Now, I want you to remember these two things. It's worry about an uncertain outcome. And that's what causes this anxiety. Anxiety is something that it may have gripped you. It's gripped me for years. And I've been sitting there worrying about untold things that just are not worth my time. And that's most of the time what anxiety is. We're sitting there worrying about things that ain't worth our time or out of our control. So without further ado, the Zaigarnik Effect. You may have heard of this, but you probably haven't. Now, the premise of this, the Zaigarnik Effect, I'm going to give you a story after we go through this. So it was discovered by Bluma Zaigarnik in the 1920s, who she was a psychologist, a Russian psychologist. And one day she was in a restaurant, and the Zaigarnik Effect is explained like this. She was in a restaurant and she was observing. She's a psychologist. And she noticed that every single time the waiter had like an open loop. So the tab was open. That is for food. That is for drinks. The tab was open. That waiter or waitress would remember the whole order on the table. Keep this in mind. But as soon as the tab was paid, as soon as that group, that family, whoever was eating and drinking at that restaurant had paid the tab, the waiter or waitress had completely forgotten what was the order. We're going to explain exactly how this links to anxiety and why we're anxious most of the time in a minute. So we remember unfinished or interrupted tasks more than completed ones. And I'm going to show you a graph which is going to blow your mind about how this works. The brain keeps mental tabs open. So when you look at your brain is no different to a laptop. It's an operating machine. Now, you know when you've got your laptop open and you've got 15, 20 tabs and it's a bit slow, you're moving your mouse and it's like dragging across the screen like this. But then you close those tabs and it's going like that again. That's not a coincidence. And our brain works no different to that. I'm going to show you a graph for the visual learners. I put this in a bit selfishly. I'm quite a visual learner. But I want you to have a look at this. Now, this is the Zaigarnik Effect. So you'll see memory retention for incompleted tasks. So go back to that restaurant. So for the tab that was still open, for the family that's still eating and still ordering drinks, the waiter and the waitress would remember most of it or all of it. You'll see here, remember most of it. 75% of it they would remember. Now, when we flip here, the Zaigarnik Effect in the memory retention for completed tasks. So once the task is completed, so in the restaurant, once the tab had been closed and been paid for by the family or whoever was eating, the waiter or the waitress would only remember 15%. Or they'd completely forget it because it's done. Now, you're probably already putting two and two together and realizing how this links to our anxiety. A lot of the time when we're feeling anxious about things, keep this in mind. So why does this, what's this got to do with anxiety? Why does this link to anxiety? Open loops simply create mental tension. So when you look at the graph, when we go back to the graph, our brain has a certain amount of mental real estate, simply meaning capacity. Like this cup, it has a certain amount of capacity. Now, when this cup reaches here, it starts overflowing. Our mind is no different. When there's so many unfinished things in our mind, it starts overflowing, and that overflow manifests in anxiety. And us sitting there thinking about a load of different things and worried about a bunch of things is simply because there's open loops. Now, our brain feels it must finish when it starts. So when we start tasks, when we start things, our brain wants to finish it. We have an innate instinct and drive to finish things that we started. A lot of the time, the things that would keep us alive are finishing what we started. If we started a hunt, we finish, like we have to finish it. We have to catch something. We have to do something, or we don't eat. And this creates these open loops. Oh crap! What if? Oh damn! Boy. When we eradicate what if, the cup's only up to here. When we don't eradicate what if, and then we don't eradicate what if again, and then we don't, suddenly it overflows, and that is anxiety. Now, every unfinished task has background mental load. As we said, likewise with our laptops, if there's loads of tabs open, it's building. Yeah. And obviously this, of course, anxiety is not random. And this is the premise of the video. Anxiety is not random. It's not like we don't just sit there and just like randomly just start panicking about 5 years from now, or start thinking, oh crap, what if I... Anxiety is not random. Now, I can tell you how this manifests sometimes. When you leave the house or whatever, you might think, oh, did I leave the gas on? Or did I leave the washing machine on? Notice how that's an open loop. But if you just went home and checked and you see it, loop's closed. You wouldn't even think about it again because the loop has been closed. Okay. And this, obviously, when we don't close these loops, leads to the overwhelm, the fatigue, and the procrastination. And these are byproducts of anxiety. Stay with me. So, most importantly, and these, look, you may look at some of these and think, that's obvious. It's obvious, but we don't do it. And there's reasons why. First of all, there's reasons why they're so beneficial, any of these four or all of them. And there's also reasons why we don't do it, because we don't know the benefit of each one. So I'm going to go down and we're going to go through exactly the benefit of each one. So what happens when we write things down? For those of you that journal, you'll know the power of journaling. Journaling is incredibly powerful simply because it takes what's in the mind and it puts it on something tangible. You can see it. So those thoughts racing about in your mind, the feelings are that girl, that thing, that problem, and then you put it on a piece of paper. What happens is our mind, we can't measure how big something is in our mind. It just seems big. But then as soon as we put it on a piece of paper, we realize that it's half an A4 and we're like, it's not that big. And it allows our brain to compartmentalize things when we write it down. Put it in a compartment. Oh, it's that big. Cool. I'll put it here. And organize things. That comes from writing things down. Very powerful. Our thoughts, our emotions, everything. Write them down. Break it down. So this can be an extension to writing it down. So you could write, today I felt anxious about this. Okay, cool. Today I felt anxious about my football match on the weekend. Cool. Natural. Why am I anxious about it? I'm not anxious about the football match. I'm anxious about not performing well. And then I'm anxious about the fact that if I don't perform well, people might watch, or people might find out, or people might not rate me as high as I rate myself. That's where the anxiety is coming from. It's not because you don't perform well. You don't care if you perform well or not. You care what people think about your performance. You care about what you think about your performance. So break it down. Write that. Don't write, I'm anxious about the football match, because you're not. It's layered. It's deeper than that. And when we realize that things are deeper than what we bring to the surface, we're able to tackle them at the root of what's actually caused this. Why am I actually anxious? I'm not anxious about a football match. I love football. It's the fact people are watching, or it's because it's an important match. But there's a reason behind it. Next one, schedule it. Time block the task. If there's something that's taking up a load of space in our minds, the best thing we can do, have I got my phone on me? I ain't got my phone. I'll show you. I've got a little app. It's sick. It's really good. I'm not telling it. I'm not sponsored. But I've got an app. It's called Structured. You can look it up. And I time block absolutely everything. My social media time, my calls, my creative stuff, my morning routine, my training time, my sauna time, like you name it, it's on that flipping thing. I don't think. I wake up and I'm like, all right, cool, I'll do that then. I've cut off the amount of time I spend thinking about things, and it's in the app. Day to day, every single day, I do this thing called PTT, plan tomorrow's tasks. I've been doing it recently and it's flipping amazing. So just do it. The night before, I put everything in there for the whole day. I account for nearly every hour. There's an hour or two, or maybe 3, that are like playtime. Go on, Alf, do your thing. But other than that, everything is accounted for. And this is not because I'm a robot, but this helps close the loops. There's no loops. There's the amount of time that you can spend in a day not thinking about what you're doing is fantastic. and just doing it instead of thinking about it. And if it's written down, broken down, and scheduled, see these four work in unison. You can do all four at the same. They're like a step. It's not do one, it's do all four, and they work in steps. Schedule it, time block, amazing. Time block. If you've got a project, if you've got something that you need to do and you know that you need to do this thing, don't be thinking, oh, I should have done it today. Oh, I should have done it tomorrow. Right. Friday at 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. This is what I'm doing. Oh, all right. So till Friday, what am I going to do? Oh, I can do that instead. I can just do my thing till Friday. Yeah. But this is the thing. Close the loop. Friday at 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Close that loop. You said you was going to do it, close it. And then if we can do these four things for most areas in our life, anxiety drops by 50%. I can be a sufferer of anxiety. My brain is a storm. My mind is like a storm. I cannot even explain it unless you're somebody that experiences similar things. You'll know what I mean by that. My mind is a storm. If I don't do this, I'm prone to sit. If I didn't do any of this, these feelings would take me all over the place. The anxiety would take me all over the place. Doing this, I pretty much, I mean this, I pretty much don't feel anxious about much. I rarely get any anxious feelings because I do this. I've written it down and I've seen it on a piece of paper and I'm like, bruv, that ain't that deep. I've broken that down even further and I'm like, bruv, that definitely ain't that deep. I've scheduled it so I know what I'm doing to fix that thing, or if it needs fixing, or if I can fix it. So I know whether it's a controllable or uncontrollable, and this can be really helpful. If it's uncontrollable, bro, it's uncontrollable. Nothing you can do about it. You can influence it, but you cannot change it. Then influence it, don't change it. Complete it. If that's a task, project, thing, email, video, whatever it is, complete it. Close the loop fully. But look, there's a lot of theory stuff here. You're going to still feel anxious. You're going to still get days where you're like, oh, flip. And you're worrying about a bunch of stuff. As I said, I haven't completely cured anxiety forever. This has just helped me a lot because I'm somebody that is prone to this stuff. And this has been really helpful for quieting down the noise. And not even just quieting down the noise, but directing the noise towards something beneficial. I'm a big believer in getting in not neglecting our emotions, not neglecting, you know what I mean, these curses that we have and turning them into superpowers because they're there to stay. Use them or be abused by them. And anxiety is one of them. We can either have it and think, oh, flip, everything's bad, or have it and think, cool, I'm a little bit prone to this thing. I'm going to use it. It's going to help me. And I can say that if you are somebody like that, this will certainly help you. But yeah, I'm rambling on a little bit. Love for the love. There's nothing in here but cheers. Cheers to the camera. See you in a bit.